Welcome to a Kids Life podcast. I'm Angela Lockwood and thank you so much for joining me. I know that it has been a hectic start of the year, but I don't think this year is unique at all because every single year we start the school year hoping that we will be a little bit calmer, that things will be a little bit more settled, but then the new year starts, we start at school and then we realize we're running around hectically again. But this year, for some of you, you may have had kids start school. And today is all about how do we help our kids start school off on the right foot. Now, it doesn't mean we're going to be looking at how do we, really help them academically. What we're going to be looking at today and having a chat about is how do we help to establish new routines and help our kids settle into this new routine of being at school. So your child might have started their, kindergarten, prep, whatever your state or territory calls it. But it's that first year of school where they step up into formal education from preschool or the year before they start their schooling. And it's funny, I have been spending a lot of times in schools the last couple of weeks just helping our little, where I am in New South Wales, kindergarten kids really just settle in and find their way. And the first couple of days, it was very much around separating from parents and, just little things like where do they put their bags? When can they go to the toilet? I'm thirsty. Can we go and get a drink of water in the middle of, where when the teachers have been talking? There's a lot of those really simple routines that we look at and we think, well, they're not that much of a big deal. But for the kids in the first week or two, settling into those routines is actually setting a really important foundation and base for them, of which they will grow their educational journey off. And for a lot of the kids too, this is where they start to get an opinion around what school will look like. I've heard some of the most funniest comments from some of the kids the last few weeks when they're sort of saying, how come everyone keeps telling me what to do all the time? Or is this all school is? Or are you serious? I have to keep doing this? And just these funny comments that these little kids are coming up with where they're realizing the reality of school, that school is fun, that school is great because you meet so many new friends, but for a lot of the time, it is actually about them following new routines, new rules, being told what to do a lot, and whether or not that is being told what to do in terms of you need to be here by this time, when the bell goes, this is where you need to be. All of those things for kids are brand new experiences and they can add a lot to their little brains. And you might have even found that they were really tired the last couple of weeks. Maybe the first week there might have been some sort of adversive behaviors. They might have been acting out a little bit, or they might have been coming home just absolutely exhausted and laying on the lounge and not wanting to do anything. You might have found that they were eating a lot of food, more than what they would normally eat. And all of these things are totally fine because they're finding their way. And I even know for me, and I hear it all the time when I'm working alongside teachers in classrooms, is teachers and adults are feeling the pressure as well because we're also trying to find a new routine in our family, or we're trying to find a new routine in our work. We've maybe just come off some school holidays, and getting back into the swing of things sometimes is exhausting, and we've got to sort of find our new groove. And all of that is totally fine and totally accepted. And what we're going to find now is we're going to be coming out of that sort of settling in period and starting to get into the new routines of the class. Now, so you think about it, they've just had a couple of weeks of trying to settle in and find these new ways of what school life is all about. For some kids, they might have caught the bus for the first time, or where does mum or dad pick me up from? Or, when do I eat my food? All of these things have been a real, it's like a really, when we start school or we start work, when we go to a new job or we go to a new workplace, that we're trying to find our way too. We're trying to find who are the people who we need to be connecting with. Who are the people that I want to connect with? Where do I sit? Where is it okay to have lunch? Can I go outside? Do I have to stay in the lunchroom? Is it okay to knock off at this particular time? Or is there an expectation to sort of stay a little bit longer? All of these things for us, we experience when we go to a new workplace. So for our kids, they're also experiencing all of these things. So the last few weeks have been whatever they've been. And what I would love for you to do is just take a little moment. It could be now, or it could be at the end of this podcast, end of our chat, where you just look back and think, okay, how did the last few weeks go for my child? How did the last few weeks go for me, for my family? What were the things that worked really, really well? And that reflection will allow you to go, okay, there's some things that worked and the family just seemed to really tick over and things went really smoothly. But there might have been some things where you're like, oh, that one didn't go quite as well as planned. So you might be, just a really basic example, which I hear a lot from parents, is making lunches. Some people, they make lunches the night before. Some people make lunches the morning of. And for you might have been making lunches the morning of, and you realized it was too busy to get the kids out the door in the morning and you were rushing to make lunches. So you might want to try and go, well, that didn't work very well. So let's try the night before. Let's see if that helps. Or it might be school drop-off, that you found it really difficult to separate from your child, or your child might have found it difficult to separate from you. And taking a little bit of time to reflect and look back, you might go, well, that particular drop-off, when I walk them to the class, it doesn't work well. I find it really hard to separate. Whereas for you, it might be allowing your child's school drop-off and having a teacher come down. You say goodbye to them, the teacher walks them up, and everything is a lot smoother. So whatever it is, it doesn't matter what aspect of school life or what aspect of starting school. It is really important now just to press pause as a parent and look and go, what has been working well? What are some of the things that we might need to change so that we can get through this new school year, smoothly, without stress, without any chaos in the mornings, or it might be without having arguments the night before when kids are trying to go to bed. What are some of the things that we can set up? So what I want to work through with you now is just 5 really simple ways that you can really start the school year off on the right foot. And it is not too late. There's a reason I'm posting this right now, because there is so much flooding your mind, your family. There is so much going on in the first couple of weeks. Now is that really good time to press pause and go, how are we maybe going to do this differently? Or what are the things that have worked that we can continue to do? So if you're a parent that does have a child starting school, then this is going to be really new for you. But if you're a parent who has kids that are well and truly into the school routine, take this as another really good opportunity for you to press pause and go, is there anything that in my family this year with school I would like to do differently? Or is there more responsibility that I want to give my older kids so that you're not having to do everything yourself? This is a really great time to press pause no matter how old your child is, okay? So you might want to get a pen and a bit of paper and just write these down. There's also transcriptions. So if you head over to angelalockwood.com.au and you will see the podcast episodes there are transcriptions underneath that of this that will have these tips as well. So the first thing to look at is, and I've talked about it so many times already, is to establish a daily routine. Now, I am a bit routine focused myself. I do like a good routine. It keeps me feeling like I'm in control. But it also helps me when things go a little bit crazy in my family and we have a routine. It's like a really good fallback mechanism for you, so that if you could have all the best intentions to have this wonderful routine in your family, but something happens, a child's sick, or the dogs run away, or that it's pouring rain and the kids were walking to school, anything like that. If you have a daily routine, then it gives you an opportunity to have something to fall back on as well. So consistency is the key when it comes to routines for your kids, and things like creating a schedule. So my kids are a little bit older, so we sit down as a family and go, right, where are people at what time every night or every day? What sports have we got on? Who's working where? And then we look and go, right, who can take on dinner that night? Who can, whose responsibility is it to take the garbages out? And we set it up as a family unit. And what I love about doing this is it gives my kids the ownership of going, well, it is my dinner night tonight. And as I said said, I've got high school students. So for those of you with kids that are little, it is a little bit different, but they can still pack their bag. They can still take out the garbage. They can still clean up after dinner. Even if they are that sort of 5 or 6 years old, they can help you with things that help the family run smoothly. So one of the really important things, particularly this time of the year with creating a routine, a daily routine, is looking at set bedtimes. That's a really easy one to go, right, everyone needs to be in their rooms, quiet, device-free. I had to say that. Device-free, maybe reading or just playing quietly in their rooms at this amount of time, at this time. And what that allows you to do, and I hear this a lot with parents actually as kids get older, is they feel like they lose that nighttime quiet time to themselves as parents, and that's really important. So having the kids in their rooms, nice and quiet, calming down at a particular time, sets that expectation that our nighttime finishes at this, and you need to be in your bed and starting to calm down. We do it when kids are really little. When kids are babies, when kids are toddlers, we do that. And so when they go to school, it's as equally as important. Another way of looking at a daily routine is what happens in the morning. And for you, I have written a lot about this in my blogs or on my LinkedIn profile at Angela Lockwood around how do you create good, smooth morning routine. So you can check that information out, and I'll probably do another podcast very shortly around that. So keep an eye out. But feeling that daily routine allows you to set expectations for your family, but also adds in an element of predictability, okay? That kids know what's happening when, you know what's happening when, and if things go a little bit chaotic, you have that routine to fall back on if needed, okay? So that's your first one, establish a daily routine. The second one is make learning fun for your kids. Now, if you've got a school starter, there is no way they've got homework yet. And if they do have homework, well, that's a whole nother podcast. But make learning fun. And what I mean by this is that at the start of the year, kids can feel like they've had a really big shock to their system. And like I said before, that they've got so many rules and new people telling them what to do, so many different things to learn. So if your child is tired, their capacity to focus on any type of after school activities like homework or anything that needs a cognitive element to it, their bodies are tired, their brain's tired, so you'll find they won't have the motivation, the drive, or they won't maybe even have the interest to do it. So a way around this is to make learning really fun and do it in short spurts. So say you've got your readers to do. So maybe your little kids are coming home with, books from school. They may not be able to read yet. So sitting with them at night, and I know one of the things, I will tell you this story because I love it and my kids still talk about it even as teenagers. I used to read books to them in what we called funny language. So I would make up voices, which I am definitely not good at making up voices, but my kids thought it was hilarious. And I'd read the book to them in really funny ways, and I'd make up the story. Not necessarily from the reader, but I would look at the picture and I would make up something funny about the picture. And what the kids loved about it is it made reading fun. They really looked forward to it. And in fact, there'd be times where I would be reading to them in the normal way, reading the words in a very, sort of just normally reading to them. And then what I would do is I would just continue and wait for them. And I could guarantee you one of them would say, "Mum, can you do it in funny language?" And then the whole reading experience finished off in a really fun way. So there might be things like if that the teacher has said to you that your child's, it'd be great for them to start to work on their handwriting. Sitting them down doing handwriting worksheets, let's face it, is boring. So take them outside, do some painting, get them to do some fun activities where they're painting maybe on an easel, or they're drawing funny portraits of their dog, or they're doing fun things outside. Or it might be things like if you're making dinner and you know that numbers aren't really their thing yet, well, helping you weigh and measure things for dinner, or even if they're having difficulties with learning phonics or learning any of their sounds, you singing with them and making things fun. It's just little things because kids learn best when they're playing and when they're having fun. The third thing out of these, we've got to establish a daily routine and make learning fun, is to be involved in your children's education. This is one of the ways where you can start the learning journey off on the right foot for your kids. And because life is busy, I get it. It can feel really hard to do the juggle between now having to be involved in your children's education. But where you can, attending things like school events, volunteering when you can as a parent helper, or even just communicating with your child's teacher through, if they're using a class app, or just saying hello to them at the end of the school day every now and again. Being interested and showing interest in your child's day helps their schooling journey to start off on the right foot. And this will also help you. There's an extra benefit to this. It'll help you address any issues that may arise, but it also enhances like a connection between you and the teacher. But also, more importantly, it helps you create a connection with your child, and you'll learn things like who their new friends are, maybe who they're having difficulties with. There might be some kids who they're not connecting with. You'll also learn things like the new lingo that they're using at school, and you'll sometimes be shocked with the words that they come home with, or you'll know things like what the latest cool song is or the game that everyone's playing. So when you're involved in your kids' education in whatever capacity you have the ability to be able to do, what it does is it sets you off on the right foot on your child's learning journey around being involved. But it also shows your child that you're interested in their schooling, and it also just helps. It's so fun. I really miss it having my kids at high school being involved like we were when the kids were starting school. They don't want you to come to the swimming carnival anymore, or there's no parent helpers or things like that. It's a really beautiful time of your child's educational journey to be involved, and in whatever way you can. It doesn't mean you have to be the president of the Parents Association, but just turning up every now and again and supporting your school also creates a wonderful sense of community and involvement. Okay, so the fourth one is encourage organizational skills in your kids. I say this all the time. Helping your child learn to stay organized. And I mean keeping things a track of like their school supplies, making sure that they know if they've got schoolwork coming up, homework coming up, or assignments coming up, or if there's notes that their teachers give them, that you want to make sure that they don't have that awful, gross banana sitting in the bottom of their bag that sits there for weeks on end. Keeping them organized, having a good little system that your child knows. So it might be they walk in the door, they immediately unpack their bag, they take their lunchbox out, they throw the garbage in the bin, and they give you whatever notes they have. Now, this is not too much of an expectation for a child in their first year of school. They can do all of these things, because I can guarantee you if there was a backpack full of chocolates and lollies and lollipops and all the stuff that they shouldn't be having, they would find a way to open their bag, pull all that out, empty it, and zip it back up. So it's not too much of an expectation to ask your children to have an organizational system, like unpacking their bag, like putting their clothes in the laundry basket, doing things that creates a sense of independence for them means less reliance on you, but a growing ability to trust themselves and to back themselves and to know they have the skills that they need to get them through the day. So organizational skills is a very important one for the kids because it helps things run smoothly and it gives them a sense of independence and self-control. So the fifth one and final one. So we've got to establish a daily routine, make learning fun, be involved in your child's education, encourage organizational skills. And the fifth and final one that we're going to talk about today around how do we set our kids' schooling off on the right foot is to support their emotional well-being. So all of the things we've talked about have been quite tangible, quite practical things. This last one around supporting their emotional well-being is vital. Because of all those reasons where it's so new for your child to be navigating this world of school, starting school can be really an emotional time for them. It can be very overwhelming. It can be quite stressful. So listening and taking that time to listen to your child's concerns and offer them reassurance and encouragement is just so important in helping them feel like everything will be okay. And This might be sitting with them when you are doing those funny language readers at night before they go to bed, or reading them a story, or even just chatting to them. It might be going for a walk with the dog in the afternoon with them. It could be, when you're having breakfast, whatever matches in with your family routine. Asking them about how their day has been, asking them about their friends and how they're feeling about things. It can help them to understand that it's okay that life doesn't always go smoothly. And if they've made a mistake at school, that's okay too. There's always people to ask for help when needed. And when you can sit and give them a little bit of time where you can show them that you care and you show your child that they have your support, then they will share things with you even without you asking. So supporting their emotional well-being and taking the time to be interested and find out what's going on for them, what they're enjoying, and also what they're not, will set them up for success and a beautiful connective relationship with you that'll take them through their whole learning journey. So today has been all about how do we help our kids start school off on the right foot. So just remember, with these 5 things, with positive and a supportive approach, you can help your child to start the school off on the right foot. And importantly, what it does is it sets those really important frameworks and those important foundations to help them have a really fulfilling learning journey. And just remember too, this is such an exciting time for kids. Enjoy it, embrace every part of it, because it's an important time for them and they'll be needing you right now. So a little cuddle and a little bit of time every now and again will do wonders for helping your child to see school as a beautiful, fulfilling, fun learning space. For all of any more of information around how you can support your kids, head on over to angelalockwood.com.au and you can go / to the blog where there's all the information on there around ways that you can put systems in place. And I expand on all of these points a little bit more. But of course, you've already found me here on a Kids Life podcast. Keep coming back because there will be so much more information for you on how you can better support your child navigate their learning journey. Until next time, I'm Angela Lockwood. Stay safe and enjoy.